Hi, Nicki. So thank you so much for being here today. I'm really excited to connect with you and find out a little bit more about your journey through working with me and the other women through my program, and really giving whoever might be watching this just some insight into what that journey was like for you and what's possible for them if they were looking to undertake that journey. So let's start. Why don't you start by telling us, where were you before you joined the program, and what was it that appealed to you? What were your reasons for wanting to join the program?
Okay, so before I started the program, I so distinctly remember the day that you rang me, Brooke. I was working, it was a weekend, I was working, it was a long weekend, and we just had a personal loss in the family. We just lost a family member, and I was dealing with that, but I was spending 90% of my time in my head. So I think for me, there was a lot of things going round and round in my head, and this could be any time of my life. This is really where I operated from, was 90% of the time I'm in my head. And talking to you on the phone that day, it was just a bit of an epiphany for me, because I felt like he was someone who was actually listening to me and actually understood what I was talking about, and it made sense to them. So I guess I had been quite frustrated with myself. I was, using food as a way of sort of coping. So I would overeat at night when I was tired or stressed or frustrated, and I hated that about myself. I hated doing that, but I just didn't have the skills to do what I needed to do to really look after myself and move forward in a positive way. So I was looking for something, even if it was looking for something to help me work out a better way to go through my life and be more connected to myself, more alive, and more present. And so it was just an amazing phone call that you rang me out of the blue.
I love that. And I forget, as you're talking, it's like I totally remember that. I remember that conversation. It feels like it was some time ago. I think it was the start of the year, wasn't it? It would have been January or February, but I remember that.
It was the March, the March long weekend, because I was doing emergency response work, and I was in this massive warehouse in my work gear for emergency response, and I was just hiding in one of the little spaces, like they store everything so no one would find me while I was talking to you.
Love it.
And I felt so annoyed, but I just couldn't give away, I just had to have this phone conversation, because you just rang me out of the blue, and it was just like, it was like, I don't know, the timing was amazing.
And what was it that really, I guess, that resonated with you and facilitated you actually taking that step to participate in the program?
Exactly. It would have been so easy for me to think, and I know I do this, it would have been so easy to just say, oh, that sounds great, but, come up with excuses. But I was just compelled, because you told me your story, and I just felt so connected to your story. I felt so connected to you. And because we talked about, diet and exercise, and that this wasn't about that. And I just know that coming to a point in my life where I was able to deal with things that were coming up in a more constructive way with nothing to do with diet and exercise. And I felt like, even though that was the way we got there, it was about food, or it was about things that the sort of symptoms, you knew that was not what was really important. And that for me was an absolute clincher. Yeah. And you presented an alternative that I had never heard of before. You showed me, you started talking about things that were possible, that I wanted, and that another way to get there, that was just not another diet, or not another, not more of the same, but something completely different. And I think for me, I just had to try it. Yeah, it was just compelling.
Mm. And your journey has been incredible. Like, I know as we've gone through the different weeks, just the insights and the clarity that have come through for you. So tell us a little bit about what the journey was like for you.
Well, for me, it was like connecting to my inner wisdom. It was like your program gave me the confidence and gave me the path to connect to what was already there, but just that I didn't trust, because I felt like, you know, that scientists and current popular thinking around diet and exercise was really how I should be thinking. That was more important than what I achieved. But you empowered me, and I think everyone else did the program, to trust our instincts, to be connected to who we are. And it might sound a little, you know, corny, or, you know, a little bit, as you say, woo-woo, but it wasn't. It was really a way. It was just about trusting, learning to trust myself, using the tools that you provide, which are just amazing, and doing the work. You know, it's not a free ride. It's like that's why the group, we go through it together. But you know, I have to actively day for the rest of my life. So I see this as a practice, and I see it as a journey. And I love that you said we're going for what was it? What do you say, Brooke? You say not
Progress, not perfection.
Progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that's, you know, everything about the way I talk to myself now is different, because it's not about getting it right. It's not about fixing anything. It's not about being perfect, but it's about the journey. So I love it. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, I love hearing that. And it's so, that idea of progress, not perfection, I know for me, that's made such a difference in my life, because like you, and like I think every single woman, at least the ones I work with, we are perfectionists, you know, and it does hold us back in so many ways. And having that idea of, oh wow, if I can just make progress, that's enough. And what I've found through that is that we move forward so much easier and so much faster when we're focusing on progress rather than that idea of perfection.
And, you know, because we get all your all our weekly work, I've got that. So I go back when I'm walking to work, I go back and listen to week 1 again.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I get something different every time I do it. And I get something out of it every time. I love it. It's like this amazing resource that I can draw on whenever I need to.
I love that you re-listen to it, because we're always going to get something different. We're going to go a little bit deeper when we redo things. We're going to see things or hear things that we didn't, or we weren't aware of previously. It's really powerful. So what do you think made the biggest difference for you, or what was the biggest kind of insight or awareness or turnaround for you?
Oh, well, there wasn't one. There were so many.
Yeah.
But okay, my top 3 would be pleasure.
Yeah.
The fact that it's not a sin to actually experience life from a pleasure perspective, like to allow myself to enjoy myself and not beat myself up, and to be able to experience pleasure. Like it sounds weird to say it out loud, but to be able to just enjoy the day and experience every moment and just be present, and little things like getting my nails done, or getting my hair done, or having a massage, I don't have to feel guilty about that anymore. It's actually a pleasurable experience that I now allow myself to just enjoy. And it just increases. Little things like that have increased the quality of my life so much. So that's been a huge thing for me. Pleasure. I just love that. And you talk about it early on in the course, and it just sets everything up, I think, for the rest of the program. It's beautiful. The other thing was operating from a point of love, not fear.
Mm.
And this, for me, that's an ongoing thing that I'm working on all the time. But I'm just so much more aware of it now that I want to operate from a space of love, not from a space of fear. And I think that's something everyone can relate to. Everyone is challenged by that. And you know, I just love it because I know when I do my daily practice, it's setting me up to really operate from that point of love, because it's just such a loving, beautiful journey, just that little 15 minutes a day on my personal sanctuary and the daily ritual, just to give me that space to influence the story in my head, to really make it a positive experience for myself, because I create my life every day. Every day what I see is open for me to create it how I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so setting up my state every day using the tools that you gave me just empowers me to really be open to whatever's there and to be positive, and not positive in a sort of corny sense, but positive in a deep and meaningful way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's given me the space to choose how I react to things,
Mm-hmm.
because I've got that nice, loving voice in my head. And sorry, my husband's just walked in. And he's in a bad mood. And so I just love that I can just be who I want to be in the world. You know, I don't feel like I'm out of control. I feel like I'm much more in control, and I'm much calmer. Mm-hmm. And I think with 3 teenage boys and a full-time job and a husband that runs 3 of his own businesses, the more I can do to just enjoy myself and just be in the moment, the better everything is for everyone. Oh. So that, what else? I know the other thing, Brooke, I wanted to say was permission to eat anything. Yeah. I love that I can eat anything. And I know that sounds it sounds like I must have been setting so many myself that I wasn't even aware of. Mm. But now, you know, it's like that my relationship with food was, I was using it I was using my body as a palette for my emotions. Mm. So food was a way for me to sort of digest or absorb or squash push my emotions down. Yeah. But now I've been able to connect more with my body. I mean, that's a massive part of this program for me, is to connect with my mind and my body. And I had known intellectually how important that was, but I just didn't have the tools to do it. And I think through the program, I'm just so much more able to do that, and to honour my body, and to really understand that I need to listen to my body and use my body's wisdom. Mm. And I'm still learning that, but it's just, for someone who spends all day working in, you know, at a desk, you know, at meetings, you know, in an office environment, it's so easy to disconnect from your body. Mm-hmm. So this just brings me back, the personal sanctuary and all the training and all the tools just bring me back to that space. And I just absolutely love that. But so for me, food had been a way to sort of deny myself the fact that I was actually disconnected from my body. So this has allowed me to, particularly at night when I come home and I'm exhausted and everyone's saying, what's for dinner? And the last thing I feel like doing is cooking anything. But now I can sort of take a bit of time and realise that I am actually tired, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. And my body needs to rest. And, you know, I'll do a better job of how I want to be in the world if I listen to what my body's wisdom is telling me. Mm. It's been huge,
I love
they're the main things I've learned.
They're so powerful. And I know, you know, as you're talking, and I'm just thinking back through our journey together and thinking about the woman and the place you're in where we started, and everything you just spoke about it's so different. You know, as you said, you were so in your head, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, just very disconnected, and watching you go through the 8 weeks and just sink deeper and deeper, you know, with every lesson and every call, has just been incredible, and you really are living in that place now where you are so much more in tune. And, you know, as you said, it is still a journey, and that's something we talk about a lot, in that I don't believe that it's something we ever arrive and we're like, I'm fully connected, I'm perfect in all these areas, I never have any issues, this is great. It is going to be an ongoing journey, but provided, as you've shown so beautifully, provided we're continually implementing what we're learning and being aware and taking that time out for ourselves, that journey just continues to get better and better. What now, and having said all of that, I know, because you know, anyone listening to this up until now is probably like, oh my God, this sounds incredible, it's amazing, it's just absolutely beautiful. But, and it is, but as you said, you know, it doesn't just fall into your lap. It can get challenging along the way, and the results that you've seen are a result of you doing the work and asking the questions and utilizing the support and really being willing to go there and face those fears and face those challenges. So what were the biggest challenges for you? What did you find the hardest about this, adopting this new way of living?
I found that I took it in stages.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked. I don't think I was linear in how I adopted things. So everything, like, we get our learnings for the week, and I'd listen to those and I'd do the homework. But that was sort of the easy part. It was then sort of, I needed to really step up and take things on. And some things I felt at the time, you know, like
Cool. So Nicki, our internet just got a little bit wonky there, and it just kind of cut out when you started to talk about those challenges. So let's just jump back into those challenges and just tell us, what were the things that you found particularly challenging, or, you know, a bit of a stretch as you went through your journey?
Sure. I think for me, Brooke, the biggest challenge, it was really trust. So to trust myself, to trust you, to trust the process, trust and be confident that this was something I really wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I each week we get a set of activities, and you know, we work together as a group, and we speak regularly, and to just take on what I could at the time and use that. And I think I found that as the program went, for me the biggest thing in this program, Brooke, is you, because I just trusted you. My trust in you just was that this was something you knew and understood, and you understood where everyone in the program was coming from. And I just loved that. I just loved that you share your personal experience, and you know you've tried these tools, you use these tools, you practice what you were teaching us. And for me, and you talk about your mentors, and you talk about how you've learned, how you got to this point. And because it's such a personal thing on I think from your perspective, that just made such a difference. And I think you have to do the work. You know, I had to step up, and I stuffed around with my diet for the first 8 weeks, and then I decided this, you know, the foods that you say make your own list of foods the foods that make you feel good, the foods that make you feel light. And I know intuitively what that is. So I just eat intuitively now, and it just works. It's just magical. It's just amazing.
I love hearing that. And I guess just finally, if you had to say to, let's say, the Nicki of a year ago, who was in a very different place from where you are now, and probably in the place where a lot of people watching this are in, where they are stuck in their head, they are stuck in those challenges, they're using food as a substitute for something in their life, although they're not sure what it is. And even though they're in that place where they're feeling constantly challenged and unhappy, there's a lot of fear there. There is a lot of fear there for them that actually prevents them taking the steps that could help them or that could start them on a new journey. So what would you say to that Nicki, or to those people watching who might be in that place?
Well, I would say, what have you got to lose? I mean, life is too short. There is just so much pleasure in every moment if you just allow yourself to appreciate it.
Yeah.
And this program just, I mean, you've got to do the work, but you provide all the tools, Brooke, and you provide you're such a loving person, you're such a supportive person, that I don't think anyone in that program came away without learning something. And I just think it's really, that is ultimately, I think, what everyone is looking for, is that love and acceptance, feeling full and full of love for yourself and love for others. And that's what this is really all about. It's about filling yourself up without having to use food, filling yourself up in a way that really nurtures and empowers you.
Yeah.
And that is, oh, sorry, two boys have just walked in. That's really sorry, what this program is about. And I absolutely love that. I love that. And I just think, you know, at night when I still come home and I just think, I just want to scoff something, you know, and fill myself up. But I just know it's a panacea. It's not going to fix things. And I really want to fill myself up with things that genuinely will make me happy. And, you know, that's what you're all about. You have a loving, beautiful way of sharing that. And it's just such a trusting, and it's such a strong environment for women, because I live in a house full of all men, you know. And you once said to me, look, if you keep doing everything for them, they'll just keep sucking it up, you know, and so you have to be prepared to put yourself first. And I think that's really important. And that's not in a threatening way for anyone, but you have to carve out I had to carve out my space in the family, make myself a bit bigger, and just own my space. And and that sort of resonated through my life. Now I can do that more at work. I can do that more with my family, my extended family, with my husband's family, you know, in the things I want to do. Like, I just think, that's the most, you know, that's what will happen. You know, that's what me 12 months ago, or, you know, friends that are in the position I was 12 months ago, get out of this. Just being able to really feel more loving towards themselves, loving to others, and feel full without having to feel like they have to eat.
Oh, love that you said that, because they're such keys to this process, isn't it? It really is, as you said, taking up space for yourself. It's taking your seat back at the table, because we're so conditioned as women, especially as mothers, to give everything that we have to everyone else. And that's a big part of the problem of why we're stuck in the issues that we're stuck in. And as soon as we can start to go, hang on, I actually do get to have my needs met, that's when we can start to turn things around. And it's taking that step to prioritizing ourselves that allows us to then do the things that bring that love in and bring that acceptance in for ourselves. And when we do those, and that can be such a hurdle for so many women initially, but when we do that, as you've experienced, we have so much more then that we can give to the people in our life, which, so, you know, it's a win-win for everybody when we do this. I love this. Nicki, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. You've shared so much, and I know that that's going to touch so many women's hearts and really help them see, you know, that there is a different reality from what they're currently living. So thank you for always showing up the way you show up. Thank you for being so open and so vulnerable and being the example that you are. You're absolutely beautiful.
Thanks, Brooke.
You're welcome. Bye.